raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. They said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
Welcome to the Talkin Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. An edge rusher from West Virginia University, Akheem Mesidor, is in the transfer portal. We know this is a position that Tennessee has been in pursuit of over the last few months. Tennessee has given him an offer. We'll take a look at who he is, where he comes from. I was doing a little background, a little research, stumbled across a West Virginia podcast where they called Akheem Mesidor the best player on their football team. They sound like a broken fan base, and we'll kind of get into that as we talk about why Akheem Mesidor entered the transfer portal. But as always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps the channel. If you like what we do here, hit that thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the Talkin Vols Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we're not trying to pretend to be something we're not. We are fans just like you. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. Let's go ahead and jump right into it here. Again, Akheem Mesidor immediately receiving interest in the transfer portal. The former Mountaineer is a hot commodity in the transfer portal. This is from SI.com. It says, as expected, former West Virginia defensive lineman Akheem Mesidor is receiving interest from a number of schools since he entered the transfer portal on Tuesday night. Schools that have already reached out and offered include Auburn, Tennessee, Missouri, and several others. More schools are expected to enter the mix over the weekend and throughout the course of the next week. So it looks like I see that Miami is also expected to be involved here. He has already taken an unofficial visit to Penn State last Friday. And according to 24/7 Sports, he's also planning an official to USC. So we'll see where Tennessee fits in the mix. We'll see if Tennessee gets a visit. But like I said, again, they have offered. And this is a position that Tennessee continues to chase down. We saw a miss in the class of 22. We saw them try to chase down Mitchell Agude. We've seen Tennessee continue to pursue somebody on the outside. Now, Akheem Mesidor, he was in the class of 2020. He was a 3-star prospect, 86th ranked player in that class. Coming out of high school, he was 6'3", 250 pounds. He has put on a little bit of weight since then, up to 272 as a sophomore defensive lineman for West Virginia. Let's continue to take a look at the offers here, or at the article here. It says in his 2 seasons with the Mountaineers, Mesidor totaled 70 tackles, 14.5 tackles for loss, and 9.5 sacks. Now, this is where we kind of get into why did Mesidor go into the transfer portal? Is it something with him? Is it something with this team? And again, listening to that West Virginia podcast, they just sound like a broken fan base. And as I continue to kind of dig into this, do some research, West Virginia's coach, Neil Brown, is continually putting it out there that they don't have a culture problem. But then I really start to question whether or not they do have a culture problem. He says here, candidly, I was surprised. I would even say that I was very surprised. Every college program in the country is dealing with this, some kind of loss due to the portal. We've had our share. You all have documented that fairly. In some of our cases, it was in the best interest of both parties. In some of our cases, I preferred for them to stay, but I really understand the reasoning. Most of the time, you really sense them coming, right? Change of behavior, but not this one. Akheem is a great kid. He was excelling in the classroom and on the football field. I love Akheem. I'm not angry about it. I'm not upset. I think the best emotion that I would use, and these are probably words that football coaches aren't supposed to use, would be hurt or maybe just sad. I would say personally, I hurt because the investment and more so just the relationship really close to him. Talk about a year recruiting, 2 years in the program. And I hurt for Coach Leslie and Coach Jackson as well. So again, their head coach seems surprised by this, but again, continues to put out that they don't have a culture problem. Now, the interesting thing is when you look at the tweet that Mesidor put out. He put out a tweet, announcing that he was entering the transfer portal, the typical things that you regularly see, thanking the Gold and Blue Nation. He thanks God, he thanks his parents, his coaches, his teammates, all that. And then at the end, he says, after discussing it with my family, praying on it, and following my heart, I've decided to officially enter my name into the portal. Despite the recent media conference and public speculation, I've decided to transfer for my overall well-being and in pursuit of a better environment for my development on and off the field. That is an interesting statement. Is that in regards to coaching staff? Is that in regards to the people that he surrounds himself with? He goes on to say, these last 48 hours have been extremely challenging, and at times I felt unsafe on campus. Pray that you can respect my decision and support me in this next chapter. I'm excited for more opportunities to become a better man, teammate, and player. God bless, and thank you. So again, very, very interesting comments there from Akheem Mesidor. If you look at what he's done on the football field, he is a guy that brings some versatility. And again, that goes back to his size, his weight, 6'2", 272 pounds. But he could play inside or outside. But one of the things that I found in a quote is he said he likes to play defensive end and a little bit of 5 technique. He says, so I'd like to go to a school that doesn't have a lot of depth and is ready for me to come in and be a factor as I'm ready to come in, work, and take my spot. He says, I just want to be at a school that will let me rush from the 5 technique and play how I want to play. Give me the freedom to just ball and play football the way I like to play it. Now, again, this is a guy that the West Virginia podcast called one of the best players on West Virginia's team. When you look at what he's done, he is a sophomore. I think he has 3 years of eligibility left, including the COVID year. But as a freshman, he had 32 tackles, 5 sacks, and then as a sophomore, 38 tackles, 4.5 sacks on the season. 2021 as a sophomore, he was an academic All Big 12 Conference second team, All Big 12, third team, All Big 12 honorable mention, according to the coaches. So again, I think he is a guy, as far as what he brings to the table on the field, I think he could step right in and be able to compete. We are hearing some good things about Byron Young and what he is doing on the field. He's a guy that we kind of talk about his athletic potential, his athletic ability. But reading the practice reports, it sounds like he's starting to use a little bit more technique. And when you can combine that athleticism with technique, the sky's the limit for BY. He is a guy that I truly expect. I expected it last year, but I expect him to continue to take that next step and be a game changer this year, a guy that can get after the quarterback. And that's why we talk about how important that is, not just the defense as a whole. Being able to get that pressure is going to help your back end. And I think Tennessee, that's why they continue to look for somebody on the outside to continue to add depth. We talked about how Rodney Garner wants to be able to rotate 8 to 10 guys. So we'll see how this plays out. Not a whole lot out there in terms of whether or not he has that interest. Looking through VolQuest, not seeing a lot of talk coming out of Austin Price, Brent Hubbs, the usual guys that I trust with their opinions or with their updates and recruiting news. But again, just wanted to drop the video because Akheem Mesidor is in the transfer portal. Tennessee has offered. We will continue to track that, keep you guys up to date if a visit is scheduled. Back on the practice field later today. Drop an update if any news breaks with that. And then just a reminder, I will be live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the NCAA 2013 Dynasty. Coming off a national championship. But it's a fresh start, new season. Show up early. Let's jump in. Let's have some fun. Also, if you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door and go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. Just go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. Any and all support, greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys have a great day. Again, that is bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. But this, it's the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.